There is more drama tonight among House Republicans. A group of conservative lawmakers is demanding the minority leader kick Liz Cheney and Adam Kinzinger out of the GOP caucus. The AP reports the effort by the hard-right House Freedom Caucus faces uncertain prospects. House Republican leaders have exhibited little interest in acting quickly against the two mavericks, which could fuel a fight that would distract from the party's preferred focus on issues such as inflation, crime, and immigration. Still with us, Juanita Tolliver and Michael Steele. So, Michael, I know you've been waiting for this, a sampling from the Freedom Caucus press conference today. Let's listen.
Right now, as long as they're members of the Republican conference, they're entitled to come to every meeting we have, hear every strategy. And you know what? They chose to leave.
Even our incompetent attending physician could test these members positive for Trump derangement syndrome. They are a cancer to our party and to our caucus, and they must be expelled from our conference.
A cancer to our party, Michael. Do you see the leadership giving Cheney and Kinzinger the boot? What's going to happen here?
No. The cancer to our party was standing behind that bank of microphones. I'm sorry. I don't know what the hell these people are talking about. Just go away, please. Just stop it. The reality of it is the only member of this particular conference that has stood up, the two members that have stood up and made it very clear, this is about our country and this is about our democracy, not about some silly antics standing in front of a bank of microphones, are the two members that are currently serving, Liz Cheney and Adam Kinzinger. 147 members of my party in the House voted to overturn a national election for the presidency of the United States.
Yeah, they show no signs, though, as you know, Michael, of going away. I mean,
no, of course they're not.
No, the thing. We saw today, right? You know, the House Republicans having this public temper tantrum because there's now a House mask requirement. So they all go marching in without their masks, right? Juanita, as you look at this, I know you've been in politics a while on the other side of it, but I don't know, maybe this is a smart strategy for them.
This is pathetic. I think all this is going to juice the donations to their coffers. This isn't about the health of the people they serve. This isn't about the health of the people they work with in the friggin' Capitol. They don't give a damn. It's how do I maximize the PR spectacle, and how do I maximize the cash when I send out an email saying, gee, look what I did today. So, folks back home will buy this filth and they'll pay for it. And, a lot of these folks will get reelected. But at the end of the day, this is the harm. This is the cancer. This is the virus in our body politic that we have to eradicate. We have to fight against.
And it's
because this doesn't get better from here.
And it's part of the reason why the House Democrats are investigating January 6th, right? Yeah. And now we hear, Juanita, that they're optimistic about securing testimony from former Trump officials. The way Politico put it today, its members scored a key win thanks to a legal opinion from President Joe Biden's Justice Department that allowed them to freely seek witness statements from former Trump administration officials. That means the likelihood of any resistance from the committee's work from former Trump employees or current employees is not an impediment. That's from Representative Benny Thompson. So the Select Committee is still in its early stages, but who makes sense to you, Juanita, as witnesses? What do committee members have to be cautious of?
I feel like the people who make the most sense are the people who are closest to Trump on the day of the insurrection. His chief of staff, anybody who was in regular contact with him at the rally outside of the White House. Those are the people who should be front and center. But I do think that the committee should be cautious about how much of a disruption, if these people do decide to show up and testify, that they'll create. But also the reality that even though they don't have the protection of the DOJ like they did when Trump was in office, they will still find any and every every way to wiggle out of providing testimony and appearing before this committee. So don't pin all of your hopes on getting these individuals in there in front of the January 6th Select Committee, but instead be prepared for when they don't show up. Also, I think this is another situation where you're going to have potential Republicans who are currently serving in Congress brought in, whether that's McCarthy, whether that's Jim Jordan, anybody who we know has been on the record saying they spoke to Trump that day, they should also be expected to testify. And I appreciate Benny Thompson saying, oh, we're not going for any written statements or compelling them to appear. We're actually going straight to subpoenas here because we know the DOJ has our back on this.
Yeah, so actually, Leader McCarthy, I think we've got this sound for you, Michael, was asked about potentially being subpoenaed. Here's what he said.
Is it your position, the conference's position, to fight any subpoena that may be issued against Republican members, including yourself?
No, I think if they had the 5 members that the Republicans want to put on there, we'd gladly go. If this is just going to be a DCCC, we see it just as a sham. It's not something that's serious.
So I guess that's a no, Michael?
Kevin, if you had taken this seriously and actually added 5 reputable Republicans, and there are those who serve in that body, at least 2 of them are currently on the committee. If you had taken it seriously, you'd probably have a different posture, but you didn't. So, Kevin is just doing what Kevin does here. I think Juanita's exactly right. Democrats don't need to, put a lot of hope on these guys showing up. But here is the rub. I would enforce any subpoena that's issued by that committee because they have the authority of enforcement law behind them. And so, if you think you're just going to, I'm a member of Congress. Nah, we're going to, you got the governor of Texas telling Democrats right now, the Republican governor of Texas saying, when y'all come back from Washington, I'm going to have you arrested and hauled into the House and Senate chambers to vote. Guess what? Turnabout is fair play, baby. Guess what? You're going to have a Democratic chairman of that committee enforcing those subpoenas, and those members, those Republican members, the sergeant of arms going to haul your behind in front of them, and you're going to sit down in that chair. You can invoke the 5th, but you're going to be sitting in that chair. So that's the new play here, and we'll see how it plays out.
And I'm going to mark this down at 11:40 p.m. here on the East Coast. Michael Steele and Juanita Tolliver came to play. Thank you both. Appreciate you. The number, this is